The Joes are raiding a Cobra base and looking for computer hackers. Maybe this is the episode that I thought I was getting with computer complications. They eventually find their way to a warehouse filled with boxes.
Looks like Cobra's running an international mail order business.
Like what? The Snake of the Month Club?
Genius! This business model could completely disrupt all those corner mom-and-pop snake stores that were a staple of every neighborhood in the 80s. Lifeline falls into a pool of piranhas, but his teammates don't seem all that concerned.
Appears you got piranha problems.
Meanwhile, Serpentor exists, and therefore Serpentor is yelling. Surely Dr. Mindbender is starting to regret all the trouble of growing him in the first place. Mindbender and the Crimson Twins explain that they've cooked up a computer virus, which is like a human virus, only for computers. It sounds super condescending, but this was actually pretty cutting-edge stuff in 1986. I mean, their version results in computers literally exploding and doesn't even mention Bitcoin mining, but you can't expect these writers to get everything right. Or, if we're being completely honest here, anything. Cobra's plan is to get this virus to Interpol, which will cripple the entire world's crime-fighting capabilities. Meanwhile, the Joes finally get around to rescuing Lifeline, who refuses to grab onto the barrel of a gun to get out of the pool. I'd like to think this isn't because he's a pacifist, but because you shouldn't hold on to the business end of a loaded weapon. Also, in addition to having a terrible commando name, Sci-Fi, who hasn't been on screen for more than about 15 seconds at a time to this point, seems like kind of a dick. He and Lifeline get captured, and Duke gives up almost immediately on rescuing them because they have to get this evidence back to headquarters. Duke's kind of a dick too, but we already knew that. Back with the Cobra guys, Serpentor, inexplicably shot here at crotch level, is informed that this computer virus scheme will cost $5 billion.
How do you expect me to raise $5 billion?
With a telethon!
Obviously. Wait, there's only one flaw in this plan. Who the hell would donate to a telethon run by terrorists? Criminals, apparently. Very well, let's do this stupid thing. If this is not Cobra's official motto, it really should be. I mock, but you all know at this point that if I saw this on my TV screen, I would literally pledge everything I own and probably go buy and steal some additional stuff so I could pledge that too. As the Joes watch, mystified, Hawk wonders where this could possibly be coming from. Oh, look, he's trying to think. The two kidnapped Joes are thrown into a classic Batman 66-style death trap in the form of giant roulette wheels. Presumably, the cost of these was built into that $5 billion figure that Mindbender quoted earlier. Then the Joes lose the signal like so much scrambled Cinemax porn. But then Duke strolls in with a decoder box that he stole from that warehouse. So now they can continue passively watching the possible execution of two guys that you left behind to make it possible for us to watch this in the first place. Nice work. Oh, and hey, Destro got all dressed up too. He's even answering phones. Cobra Commander's here too, but he's suspiciously quiet. He's probably pissed off that he didn't think up this insane idea. It definitely feels like one of his. The Joes managed to narrow down where Cobra is broadcasting this thing, Nevada, which is going to make busting them a lot more difficult, because I'm pretty sure everything Cobra is doing, up to and including torturing the two Joes, is completely legal in Nevada. Next, Destro tries some painful prepared comedy, but these guys, who are obviously criminals, I mean, look at them, are eating it up. He bombs pretty quickly, but he also has enough sense not to stay up there until his mask rusts with flop sweat, so he throws it over to Dr. Mindbender, in an amazing cape. Honestly, my creepy drooling over the Baroness notwithstanding, I kinda love all the formal wear the Cobra guys are wearing in this. I would probably pay actual money for variant action figures in these outfits. Meanwhile, Hat Squad here just wanders through a casino in Vegas, basically shouting, "Does anyone know where that Cobra telethon's being shot?" And back at headquarters, Mainframe says he might be able to stop Cobra's impending virus. General Hawk asks him how, and then when he tells him, Hawk just sort of rolls his eyes and acts all impatient. So, situation normal on the home front. Back on the telethon, Zartan and the new guy do a bit about street criminals coming to work for Cobra. Nice to see them doing their part, but weren't these guys supposed to be mercenaries? All that's really added up to so far is usually they work for Cobra, but occasionally they decide to be jerks and not work for Cobra. Only now Zartan seems to have completed his transformation to full-fledged company man sellout. Little Zartan Jr. will be so disappointed in you, man. Mainframe takes a team to where Cobra is keeping their mainframe. While back on the big show, Zarena announces some new death traps for the captive Joes. Sci-Fi is placed under a giant slot machine where he'll be drowned in coins, which I suppose is a real danger if you haven't been trained to swim through them like Scrooge McDuck. Lifeline is tied to a giant craps table, basically just so Dr. Mindbender can do a Snake Eyes joke. I mean, I'd have probably done the same if it were me. That's some solid death trap punning right there. Also, he doesn't even say Snake Eyes out loud, which makes me respect him even more because he doesn't insult his audience's intelligence. Both Both Joe teams end up saving the day, and honestly, I'm impressed that they managed to make Mainframe kind of a badass computer programmer back before most people even knew what a computer programmer was. Then the Joes rewire the telethon sign to say Yo Joe, which I guess is a type of victory, but I'm pretty sure that Cobra still managed to raise that $5 billion even though you wrecked their computer. So lame though it might be, you might still want to hold off on the celebrations this time.